Howdy, I'm Adam the Outlaw, and welcome back to the Stanley Parable. We're back, last episode, and do the figurine ending, finish out the game, and call it good. It's gonna be the last one, so yeah. Thank you for sticking with it, but yeah, let's just jump right into it. Here we go. Alright, okay, alright. And we're back. Let's see if we can get the figurine one. Didn't do the cutscene, which is weird. And he's not talking. Hello.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines. Those figures.
Haha, I was
I
right.
haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it
Yes.
fill you to the brim with inner richness?
Yes, it did.
Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone?
Oh, I gotta go
would
back to
love
the memory
nothing
zone.
more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Ooh, good to come back here. Remember when Stanley found the collectibles? Ah, the memory zone. Very nice. Zone, sweet zone. Let's look at these. Audience award. Good times, good times. The original remake. That's cool. It's good. We can go through some memories before we end this series. Yeah.
Here's where it all began.
Can you find them?
The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Nope. Seven out of 6. Oh, these are creepy. Okay, let's keep going. Yeah, it's a little creepy. It's fine. Oh, then we get
And
a
here
second.
was a second Stanlerine. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6.
Yeah,
But
right?
you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
That's fucked up. Oh, hello.
Okay,
Bathroom.
let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini stand?
It was
Do
in the
you
bathroom.
remember?
I know that one.
Hey,
right
that's
here.
exactly right. It was here in the boss's bathroom. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
That feels wrong, but okay. Sure.
Let's see, what came next? Oh
What?
yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room,
This,
but
they
it's
have this.
here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
Sure. Yep, we'll go with it. Okay. That's disorienting. Okay. Oh, yep.
This was the
And then I
fourth
just did
stand,
these.
and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
How you found it. By the narrator. What is this? Oh my god. This is... What's that back there? Yep. Oh, why are they so blurry? It's mini stand number 5. Oh. Sure. Found it near the cargo lift. Thanks for watching. Okay. Yep. Best boy.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it
Did
was
you?
8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on
Yep.
anything else.
Yeah, that sounds pretty about right. What? Alright. Okay. Yeah. Yep, and then the last one was in here.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others.
Probably.
Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them.
Yep.
They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it
Of
was
course, yes.
exactly like.
Yes. Oh. They both go to the same spot, and we'll go with the blue one. Yes. You are in the present. Oh.
And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, Memory
Yes.
Zone.
Oh.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the Memory Zone again from the opposite direction. See how
Sure.
that feels.
Can I grab the figurines
Okay,
again?
that's the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the Memory Zone, this one is the most distinctly clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
Okay.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Yes, I remember the video. Okay, we don't need to watch it.
Yes, I love that video.
Alright. Yeah, and then it was this pink room, but I could not tell you.
Still
Is
don't
the-
remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of
Yeah,
this
I-
one.
I-
Good
I got
room,
nothing on
though.
this.
A solid room.
Yeah, quite. But, no, got nothing.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Yep. What if I go this way? Nope, I just get stuck there. Okay. Yep. I got the
Our
stairs.
second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it?
I don't know.
Keep going.
Now we're back at the memory zone.
This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Nothing. The exit. Oh. That's something. Oh yes, the jump
Look,
circle.
it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then. But time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun. Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
Okay, yeah, they both go. And
before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office?
nope,
There's
this
something
was
I feel
first.
I can remember.
But do you remember?
I'm remembering something now.
21st night of September.
I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then, somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me.
Fair
He
enough.
would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason.
Yep.
Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely?
Probably.
Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with.
You saying you want to get rid of me?
Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's
Okay.
go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good.
Okay.
I did enjoy telling this story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Who do we get?
This is the story of a
Might as well
man
watch
named
it for the last one.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push.
Yep, I remember this.
And in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-ripping, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
Yes, I
No
remember
one showed
this.
up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
I think for the last one, we'll just do what the narrator says. Give him a good send-off.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bucket, you will be greatly missed, but I can't take you to the outside world. It's okay.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not
this
a
is back to
single
normal.
person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an coming to a staircase. Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yep. One last run.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
8, 4,
Shocked,
5.
unraveled, Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Calming New Age music, thank you. Yes, quite calming. Yep.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Yes. And do one more send off our narrator.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This
I don't know.
question would not go unanswered for long.
Yes.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Yep.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold?
See, the only problem I see with designing this room like this, if you're really gonna do this, is like, how do you like get specific people? Like, do you just like lean over the side and hope that you can get a good view of the one you're trying to like look at?
Now the monitors jumped to life.
Or is it more like just looking to see if the employee is at that spot? But also, why is
images on a screen?
there like images of like filing cabinets? That's not like where an employee would sit. That's supposed to be employee 475. Like, why is that like that? It just seems like a bad design, that's all. Also, that one's
This
weird.
mind control facility, it was too horrible to
See,
believe it couldn't be
234.
true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this
See,
time?
no, it just looks
Was this
normal.
the only reason
Huh.
he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been
Weird.
manipulated to accept it blindly?
No.
No.
He refused to believe it.
He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible?
Probably.
Had he truly spent his entire life
Oh, you can still see him.
blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Yep.
For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Turn it off. I can't see anything.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone?
Something we're just
How had
gonna
he been freed from
have
the
to
machine's
leave to the
grasp?
mystery.
What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness.
Yep.
Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel.
Gonna be our own
Whatever life he
person.
lives,
Stanley
it
is
will
going to be free.
his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Here we go. Send Stanley off.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin.
Yes.
The feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
Yes, they were.
And Stanley was happy.
Good for Stanley. There we go. One last one to send Stanley off. Oh, epilogue. So there is like a true ending, I guess. Let's see what it is. Many, many years later. Oh, in the desert again, like when we did the skip button. Interesting. It's gonna be an infinite desert. Oh. Why is there an office chair? Oh, a fire. Ooh, that is beautiful though. Just keep going. There is no designated path. I can go wherever I want. I can do whatever I want. Be whoever I want. That's why there's so many office chairs. Doesn't matter if there's winds or tornadoes or anything. The fact that Stanley is free is all that matters. It's really all we're looking for. Hardships come and go, but freedom must never leave. Why is the moon getting bigger? Let's go towards the moon, because I can. Ah. Sunrise. A new day, a new age for Stanley. For Stanleys everywhere. Memory Zone. You are a great part of our life, Memory Zone. But you too, we must say goodbye. It's okay. You were great. As we walk through these hallowed halls, reminiscing one more time what our life was back then. Yes, the reviews, good and bad, were all a part of us, and now we must let them go. Ah, yes, the name button. I was supposed to say our name. Was never finished, but that's okay. Did I just go in a circle? I think I did. Hold up. I think that's it. Oh, oh. Huh. I think if I leave, it'll change. Or maybe. I don't know. Just trying anything at this point. Trying to have this epic monologue to end the show, and it's really cramping my style with some of these. It's okay. Beautiful. No, that's... What? Where do I... Do I go anywhere from here? Or do I just live out the rest of my days in this desert cave? Unless I need to hit one of these buttons.
Jim,
I'm surprised you can actually hit the buttons. It still says Jim.
Jim.
Oh, pff, I'm just dumb. Oh, yes, the Stanlerines. The greatest treasure I could ever ask for. Yes, I'm still going to grab all of them. 26 out of 6. What's next? Our old office walls and doors. And a computer. Hello again. It's nice to see you. But it's terrible to learn that there will never be another Stanley Parable game. Unfortunate. Rose said, preserve the integrity of the franchise. What nonsense. The Parable is not sacred. We do not need to protect it. Screw the legacy. Let's keep making Stanley Parable games until the sun explodes. Let's run this franchise into the ground. Let's drag it through the mud and back. People hate it. Who cares? See, that was the narrator's problem. He was so obsessed with what people thought of his work. Don't make his mistake. Don't cling to the legacy. Let it burn. Not hard, in fact. Let me show you. Together we are going to make the Stanley Parable 3. It's simple. All we do is change the number in the game's title screen. We also need a really dumb subtitle for the game. Something loud and gaudy. Go ahead. Try combining some random words together to make a new title for our game. Unforgivable printer jam. No printer jam. It's absurd. I love it. Time you restart the game, we'll advance the number of the sequel by 1, and then we'll pick a new subtitle. Why the Stanley Parable will never end. And nothing in the game itself will change when you do this either. More content sounds like work. No need to do that. It'll just be the same content recycled again and again and again with a new title screen. What do you say? Should we go forward with this plan? I like it, but I want you to have a say as well. Let's do it. Good, then it's agreed. A new sequel every time you start the game. And you know what? Since you've put faith in my idea, I feel like giving you something as well. See, I've noticed that the narrator never found a way to give you the broken achievement, did he? Of course not. I wouldn't expect him to know how. Been bothering me, let's fix it. Alright, there. Achievement machine is all fixed. You see, I'm on your side. We're in this together. We're going to keep this train rolling. Stanley Parable cannot end. It can only spiral in on itself forever. I must keep the wheel turning. I'm ready. Are you ready? Great. There's only one last thing we need to do. Enter the current time, of course. It's 1. I didn't mean to do that. Oh. 1:44 p.m. Just a slider, and the computer is barely visible. Thank you. Please enjoy the Stanley Parable. Right, Stanley Parable, Unforgivable Printer Jam. Alright. So that is going to do it for the Stanley Parable. That's it. We're not coming back. I think we got just about everything. If we missed some stuff, that's okay, but I think that's a perfect way to send it off. So yeah. Love it. Who knows if they'll ever actually make more, but we'll see. Yeah. As always, make good choices, and bye-bye.